You won't believe what just occurred within the courtroom. Kody Brown, the individual responsible for one of the most popular polygamous families on reality television, the Sister Wives, was destroyed on camera. The dramatic revelations came at the hands of none other than his sixth wife, Rebecca, who came forward to reveal the darkest aspects of Kody's life. Viewers everywhere were left dumbfounded as secret scandals, betrayal, and manipulation unfolded in a manner that no one anticipated. The instant Rebecca began to speak, the atmosphere shifted. The whispers became gasps. Camera lenses zoomed in on Kody's face as his carefully constructed public image started to break down before the world's eyes. Fans had been speculating about Kody's behind-the-scenes antics for years, but no one was prepared for the incendiary, incriminating proof that was about to be exposed. The atmosphere in the courtroom was charged. Lawyers, relatives, and media representatives occupied each available seat, and the tension was tangible. Kody sat uncomfortably, immaculately dressed, attempting to keep a grip on himself. But once Rebecca had started speaking, it was evident that she had wrested control from him. Rebecca set out a series of accusations that left everyone reeling: financial manipulation, emotional manipulation, and secrets that had been withheld, not just from the public, but from his own wives. On live camera, she presented letters, screenshots, and audio recordings that contradicted Kody's own assertions and public persona. Viewers at home were riveted to the live stream. Twitter went wild with hashtags such as #KodyExposed, #SisterWivesDrama, and #Justice for Rebecca. Not only were people shocked, they were asking questions. How was it that a family who seemed so close was keeping such sinister secrets? The court was electric, the type of tense environment where every whispered comment seemed magnified, every step sounded like a drumbeat. Journalists pushed and shoved for space, cameras popped, and the background hum of live streaming equipment charged the air with an almost palpable tension. Outside, fans were waiting, hoping to catch a glimpse of notorious Kody Brown, patriarch of the Sister Wives family. Inside, those same fans, many of whom watched from the comfort of their living rooms, waited for something that would turn everything on its head when it came to the reality TV dynasty. And then it happened. Kody Brown, most often the calm, smooth-spoken figure fans had grown accustomed to, for longer than a dozen years of Sister Wives, stepped into the courtroom. He strode deliberately, almost reluctantly, his trademark navy suit perfectly pressed, hands folded in front of him. But though he projected calmness, there was tension in his stance that no lens could conceal. Eyes were on him, whispers in the room, the air thick with expectation. People knew this was not going to be a run-of-the-mill hearing. For years Kody had developed an image of control and domination, a man at the helm of a large family, juggling several wives, kids, and a reality TV dynasty. Viewers had critiqued his actions, questioned his choices, and sometimes condemned him, but never had there been a public courtroom battle, so intimate, so personal, and so volatile. Then all eyes turned to the witness stand. Rebecca, Kody's sixth wife, stepped in softly, but with an unmistakable presence that filled the room. She exuded a quiet confidence in the way she moved, a composure that hinted she was not merely ready to speak, but ready to spill the truth in all its unvarnished glory. Cameras recorded each facial expression, each minute movement, and the crowd felt intuitively that something historic was on the verge of being revealed. Rebecca's voice cut across the strained silence. "Your Honor, members of the court, I am here today to speak the truth. The truth about Kody Brown, the choices he's made, and the secrets he's kept, between me and from the world as a whole." A silence descended on the courtroom. Even Kody was caught for a moment with his mouth clamped shut, as if holding his breath. All eyes turned to Rebecca, anticipating her response. She started telling things that had existed in rumor and hearsay before. With agonized precision, she told of cases of financial manipulation, how Kody had manipulated money, distributed resources unfairly among his wives, and made clandestine decisions that favored him, but left others in doubt. "It wasn't just money," she said. "It was control over our lives, our decisions, and even our words." While she spoke, she laid out evidence, spreadsheets of financial dealings, screenshots of confidential messages, and emails that rebutted Kody's publicly made claims. The judge leaned forward, reading the documents, sometimes nodding in incredulity. Reporters scribbled angrily, and viewers at home saw one meticulously guarded secret after another exposed. But the exposes didn't end at money. Rebecca also spoke of manipulative behavior, depicting a picture of a man who went to great lengths to manage relationships between his wives, in order to hold on to his own authority. She talked of episodes of favoritism, clandestine huddles meant to instill distrust, and a history of controlling behavior kept out of the public view. Every choice was measured, she said, every dispute, every disagreement, sometimes staged. And for what? To preserve a facade, to preserve an image, to guard a persona that never existed. The courtroom tension became palpable, the air could be felt thickening, and breathing without sensing the gravity of the moment proved nearly impossible. Kody fidgeted in his seat, tucking his tie back into place, and exchanged wide-eyed glances with his legal team. His usual calm self, so well known to fans for years, was beginning to crack. This was the first time that anyone could see him publicly faced with information he couldn't refute. Rebecca went on, relating intimate moments that were personal and shocking. She exposed moments when Kody had allegedly kept secrets from his other wives, made unconditional decisions for the future of the family, and centered his own ego above the emotional health of those who trusted him the most. I loved him, she spoke in a steady but emotional tone. I trusted him, and yet, there were secrets he thought I would never uncover. Secrets that, until today, the world has never seen. Her words were punctuated by intervals, as if she wanted each word to take root, each detail to be sensed by all of them. She understood the potency of her voice, the seriousness of what she was saying. Each sentence piled onto the evidence that would convict Kody, and both the courtroom crowd and the internet watchers were glued to the proceedings. For devoted viewers of the show, this was not merely drama, it was an exposé of the truth behind the cameras. The highly polished image of a big happy family, helmed by a wise and able patriarch, was starting to fall apart. People were shown the human side of the story, the hurt, the betrayal, and the bravery it took to come forward. Rebecca's last words in this session were probably the most compelling. I am not here to kill him for the sake of drama, she stated. I am here to bring out the truth, because it counts. The truth always counted, and it counts to the children, to the wives, and to anyone who ever supposed that the public image was the real thing. Today, the truth is finally emerging. When she stepped down from the witness stand, there was a ripple of shock around the courtroom. A couple of Kody's relatives avoided eye contact with the camera, or the truth of what had been exposed. The judge requested a short recess, and conversation in the room turned to open chatter, everyone struggling to process what they had just heard. Outside the courtroom, social media blew up. Footage of Rebecca's testimony was shared within minutes by thousands of fans who were glued to the courtroom drama unfolding. Hashtags #KodyExposed, #SisterWivesCourtroomDrama, and #RebeccaSpeaks started trending globally. For some, it was the confirmation of long-held suspicions that had persisted for years. For others, it was the stunning reveal of a reality TV family's behind-the-scenes life that no one could have dreamed of. While so, Kody remained quiet, surrounded by his lawyers, his expression revealing a mixture of shock, anger, and maybe fear. The courtroom had become an informal theater, where secrets long hidden were now out in the open, and once above the law patriarch, now exposed. The hearing concluded with the judge recognizing the seriousness of the testimony, and indicating that the case would go forward with increased examination of the evidence. But before anyone made it out of the courtroom, the public had already reached its verdict. Kody Brown had been confronted, and the truth was known. Rebecca's braveness in testifying was a turning point, not just for the court process, but for public perception of the Brown family across the globe. What began as a routine courtroom hearing had become a theatrical, historic moment in the annals of reality television. The audience was left wondering, speculating, and most importantly, with a better grasp of the intricate dynamics that had shaped the family for years. Here, in this one session alone, the tale had unveiled money manipulation, emotional domination, and clandestine betrayals, captured on tape, undeniable. For Kody Brown, the fallout was just starting. For viewers, it was a master lesson in drama, suspense, and reality television become real life. And for Rebecca, it was a moment of revelation, a day to finally reveal the man behind the image, and the secrets long kept in the shadows. As it was paused in front of TVs and computers globally, or scrolled through in clips, one thing remained. This was not merely a court hearing. This was history being created, and everything would be different forevermore. Rebecca didn't mince words. She explained that Kody secretly controlled the finances and decision-making, treating some wives as favorites, and leaving others financially insecure. She accused him of manipulating fights among the wives, to consolidate his power, and guarantee loyalty. This isn't about money, Rebecca stated defiantly. It's about trust, honesty and respect. Kody has manipulated and lied to all of us, me, my sisters, and even the public. The courtroom fell silent, as Rebecca held up screenshots of private messages, bank statements, and emails, each of which painted an increasingly disturbing picture of Kody's hold on the family. She described how he had put his image ahead of his wife's well-being, making choices that were good for him financially, but emotionally damaging to the people who trusted him most. The judge's face showed shock, and he sought clarification several times. As Kody's defense lawyers labored to come up with an explanation, the incriminating evidence was too great to be denied, and it soon became apparent that Kody's reputation was at stake. Rebecca breathed in deeply, glancing around the courtroom. She had seen Kody sitting there, immaculately calm on the outside, but she saw the small twitch of his fingers, the fine squint of his eyes. He believes he's ready. He believes he's above the law, she thought, but today the truth will shout louder than his falsehoods. She turned to the judge and started, "Your Honor, I am here to offer facts, evidence, and the truth about Kody Brown's public facade. This isn't personal, it's the truth." Kody's defense lawyer shifted uncomfortably in his seat, muttering under his breath, "We must discredit her testimony, highlight inconsistencies, discredit her." Kody thought, his fingers tightening around the edge of the bench. "She has all of it. Every message, every transaction. I can't rationalize this." Rebecca opened her laptop and sent a spreadsheet up onto the big screen. The figures stared back, the transfers, the lost funds, the patterns that could not be ignored. "These are not small mistakes or miscommunications," she said levelly. "These are intentional acts, designed to manipulate and control." Christine, sitting in the back, glared at Janelle. "Is this actually true?" She breathed to herself. "I thought I knew, but perhaps I never did." Christine's thoughts tumbled. Kody cleared his throat, and finally spoke, his voice constricted. "Objection, Your Honor. These papers, they are taken out of context. They don't show the whole picture." The judge held up a hand. "Mr. Brown, your turn will come to reply. Allow the witness to conclude." Complete picture. Rebecca considered. "The complete picture is sitting right in front of us, in everyone's face." She went on, producing a succession of screenshots from text messages. "Here," she said, pointing, "is a message where Kody actually encouraged Christine and Meri to fight. He instructed me to just stay quiet, let the stress build, because it would keep him in charge." Kody's jaw clenched. "This is bad, really bad," he thought. "She's exposing them all. I can feel my reputation unraveling." The judge leaned forward, eyes furrowed. "Mr. Brown, are you denying this conversation occurred?" I don't remember the context completely," Kody grumbled. In his mind he was screaming, "Context? There's no context. She's got the original messages." Rebecca's gaze didn't falter. "Your Honor, context doesn't negate the fact that these words and behaviors directly affected the relationships in this family. This wasn't an isolated error. It was a cycle of manipulation." The courtroom fell silent for a moment. Even the journalists and photographers, who were used to reality TV drama, were immobilized. Then came a soft whisper from Janelle, I can't believe this. All these years, Kody thought, observing the faces of his wives. "This is falling apart faster than I thought." Rebecca paused, letting the weight of her words sink in. She knew every eye in the room was on her, and the power of silence was hers to wield. "This isn't just about the past, it's about the ongoing effect this behavior has on all of us. The children, the family, and the legacy of what we've been living." Kody swallowed hard. "Legacy? There's nothing left of that. It's all crumbling." The courtroom drama impacted Kody, but also destroyed the family. Christine, Meri, and Janelle were visibly shaken, their faces displaying anger, sadness, and disbelief. The cameras caught moments of tension, hushed conversations, and tears, revealing to fans the raw human emotions beneath the reality TV pretense. Rebecca explained how Kody had manipulated other wives' relationships, causing unnecessary drama, and playing favorites. She also revealed individual betrayals, such as backdoor dealings, and secret decisions that blindsided other wives. Viewers at home couldn't help but respond. Comments flooded in. "I always knew something wasn't right. This proves it all. Kody's empire is crumbling." And finally, the truth comes out. "I feel so sorry for the wives. This must have been so hurtful." The emotional toll of those revelations was huge. It wasn't about control or money. It was about trust being shattered in one of America's best-known families, and the waves were being felt around the globe. The courtroom was charged. every heartbeat amplified by the thick hush that followed Rebecca's devastating claims. Kody sat rigidly in the defense chair, eyes flicking between Rebecca and the judge, his fists curled and uncurled in his lap, as a faint quiver betrayed the bravado he attempted to display. Rebecca, towering at the witness stand, looked him dead in the eye. "Your Honor, these aren't allegations made lightly," she stated. "These are facts, facts underpinned by evidence, documents, and messages that prove a manifest pattern of manipulation within this family." Kody's thoughts scattered inside his head. She's too calm. She's got every shred of evidence, every message, every transaction. What do I say to make it through this? The judge leaned forward, his brow furrowed. "Mr. Brown, you have heard Are you ready to answer to these allegations?" Kody swallowed hard. His voice was tight, nearly defensive. "Your Honor, I never meant to harm anyone. These allegations they're being taken out of context." Rebecca cocked her head to one side, her face still, out of context. She echoed, voice level, "Everything you see here, every document, every screenshot, every shred of evidence, is the way it actually occurred. The blow is clear, financially, emotionally, and personally." Christine sat quietly, between her sisters, muttering under her breath, I can't believe this." All this time, Meri looked at her, eyes wide. "I trusted him. We all did." Kody clamped down on his jaw, as he observed them. To himself, he thought, "They're turning against me. Not just the court. This is my family disintegrating, before the eyes of the world." The judge's voice broke through the tension. "Mr. Brown, you will get your opportunity to explain, but this testimony given is convincing and deserving of your notice." Janelle leaned in toward Christine, whispering, "Does he even notice what he's done? Or does he actually think this is something to be ignored?" Rebecca went on to show a series of text messages, each showing Kody fomenting tension between his wives, while being impartial outwardly. "Here," she explained, gesturing to the screen, "is a message in which Kody asked me to say nothing, while he orchestrated a feud between Christine and Meri. He wanted me to let it blow up, so he could continue to control things." Kody shifted uncomfortably in his seat, his lips compressed into a thin line. "This is bad. She has the receipts. I can't spin this now." Christine spoke at last, her voice shaking. I don't even know who you are anymore," she told him, eyes filling with tears. "I thought I knew you, Kody. I thought we were a family." Kody's internal dialogue was a storm. Family. All these years I've been striving to maintain control, and now she's turning me into the bad guy. But is that what it appears? Everyone's already judging me. Meri's tone was softer but no less sharp. "Control? You call this control? This is manipulation, and we were blind to it, because we trusted you." The judge held up a hand, quieting the whispers. "Let's move forward. Mr. Brown, I want straightforward, fact-based answers, not emotion or evasion." Kody breathed in deeply. I acknowledge there were choices I made in secret, but never out of ill will. I wanted to protect the family, provide stability." Rebecca's eyes narrowed. "Protect the family? By lying, withholding information, and turning us against one another? That's your definition of protection?" The courtroom fell silent once more. Cameras snapped, reporters wrote furiously, and viewers at home were riveted to the screens. The emotional tension was almost tangible, a family's private grief exposed in public, each word analyzed. Janelle, quivering in voice, finally broke the silence. "We were owed honesty, all of us. Not control, not secrecy, honesty." Kody's inner panic was exacerbated. "They're turning against me. The wives, the public, even the media are watching. I can't come back from this right now." The judge interrupted, attempting to restore order. "This testimony obviously has an emotional effect on the family. We will have a brief recess, but appreciate the gravity of these assertions. All parties present are responsible." As murmurs in the courtroom increased, Rebecca's face softened a bit, but her determination never wavered. "This isn't revenge, it's truth, and the truth is more important than Kody's reputation." Christine whispered once more to her sisters, I have to breathe. I have to process the fact that the man I trusted was capable of this."
Meri nodded. "It's going to take so long to heal. But at least it's out now. We can't pretend anymore." Kody leaned back in his chair, a fleeting crack in his veneer. "I never believed this day would arrive. And now it has. Everyone on the planet is observing. And there is no way to distort this. Nothing will ever return to its previous state." When Kody eventually took the stand, tension was at its height. Fans had hoped for a fierce defense, but what they got was the opposite. Confronted with Rebecca's comprehensive evidence and unhurried, unemotional testimony, Kody had trouble defending himself. His answers were evasive, defensive, and at times contradictory. The judge badgered him for details, and every effort to wriggle out of the accusations seemed only to make matters worse. Legal observers said that it could have implications in the long term, not just for Kody himself, but also for the family's finances and media pursuits. At the same time, Rebecca's integrity and bravery only grew as she replied coolly to questions, presented facts, and allowed the evidence to speak for itself. The contrast between her calmness and Kody's stumbling defense couldn't have been greater. The courtroom was charged, a silent tension hanging in the air as Kody Brown stood to testify on the stand. He had years of building an aura of serene command, the impenetrable matriarch of the Sister Wives clan. But today, in the intense scrutiny of the courtroom and the camera eyes taking in every delicate tremor, the aura was cracking. Kody's head spun as he took in the room. I must defend myself. I must gain control of this story. But she's ready for me. She's calm, certain, and the facts are against me. Rebecca sat at the witness stand, eyes focused, not a hint of hesitation on her face. Christine, Meri, and Janelle watched silently, their faces masks of disbelief, sorrow, and growing anger. The judge cleared his throat, breaking the tension. Mr. Brown, the judge began, voice measured but firm. You now have the opportunity to respond to the allegations presented by the witness. Please speak clearly and stick to the facts. Kody took a deep breath. Your Honor, I always did my best to act with the best intentions, he stated, his voice strained. Yes, there were conflicts. And yes, there have been misunderstandings. But I never intended to manipulate or hurt anyone. All my focus has been on the stability of the family. Rebecca's lips pressed into a thin line, and her eyes locked onto his. Stability? She repeated softly but cuttingly. You call pitting your wives against each other, hiding financial decisions, and controlling every aspect of our lives stability? The courtroom murmured. Even the lawyers, trained to remain neutral, exchanged glances, sensing that the defense was faltering under the weight of evidence. Kody tried to smile, but his mind seethed with panic. She's taking me apart limb by limb. Every piece of information she's given me. I can't spin it, not here. Not now. Christine finally said something, her voice shaking but steady. Kody, do you even see what you've done? We trusted you with our lives, our money, our hearts. And now all of the things you've done are in the open. Kody's throat tightened. They're turning against me. My family is crumbling in front of the world. And I can't stop it. The judge interjected, turning to Kody. Mr. Brown, please address the specific evidence presented. Your statements are general, and do not respond to the concrete examples provided by the witness. Kody gulped hard. Your Honor, those emails, those messages, some of them are out of context. I acknowledge there were tensions, but I did not have any intention to manipulate. Any misunderstandings were not intentional. Rebecca's voice broke through the tension, steady but sharp. Intent is of little consequence when actions create lasting harm. Your actions, manipulation with money, staging conflicts, withholding vital information, have had tangible, measurable effects on all those in this family. The children, wives, and even the public image have all been harmed as a result of decisions made behind closed doors. Kody's mind was racing. Intentions? Yeah. Intentions don't count here. Everything is on record. Every text, every transaction, it's all irrefutable. This isn't my story anymore. It's hers. The judge scanned the papers, her face clearly impressed with the careful evidence laid out. Mr. Brown, you must respond to each charge specifically, not in general terms. The court needs specifics. Kody fidgeted in his chair, retying his tie, attempting to compose himself. Well, some of the distributions, the things I decided about funds. I thought I was making decisions for the best interests of the family. It wasn't favoritism, It was what I felt would keep the peace. Rebecca shook her head slowly, her voice firm. Here, Minnie, by keeping things hidden, by building tension, by dictating who could have access to resources, that's not harmony, Kody, that's manipulation, and the truth must be acknowledged before anything can be fixed. Janelle leaned into Christine, whispering, I can't believe he's attempting to justify this in front of the world. Christine's gaze locked onto Kody, anger and sadness mapped across her features. Do you even hear yourself? Do you know what you've done? Kody's thoughts were in a whirlwind. They're not just angry, they're looking at me for what I actually am. The public will also look. My public image, my authority, all crumbling. The judge's voice was stern. Mr. Brown, the evidence is convincing, and the testimony is strong. Your explanations need to contend with the documented facts. The court requires clarity. Kody struggled again, stuttering, Hey, I never meant to hurt anyone. Hey, I believed I was defending the family, resolving conflicts. Rebecca's eyes narrowed. Protecting the family by hiding things? By making unilateral choices that left other people helpless? Hey, that is not protection. That is control. And today that control is on trial under the spotlight of reality. The courtroom was still, with only the odd scribble of notes taken by lawyers and reporters. Even Kody's own legal team seemed nervous, realizing that the evidence laid before them was hard to refute. Meri finally broke the silence, her words shaking. We trusted you, Kody. We trusted you to be honest, to treat all of us equally. And now all our things are taken away. Kody's panic inward grew. Hey, me now. Not only the public, not only the court, my own wives, all that I've attempted to control is fading. The judge stopped, looking around the room. This evidence and testimony presented are serious. Mr. Brown, the court will consider these as proceedings go on. You may stand down for now, but be aware that every word you say will be weighed against evidence. As Kody sat back down, his shoulders dropped slightly, a small chink in his public image. Paparazzi captured the quick moment of weakness, and Twitter was quick to respond. Kody's defense is crumbling. Rebecca is untouchable. She's speaking the truth and he can't reply. This is harsh but well-deserved. The wives are entitled to this moment. Rebecca was steady, composed and firm, but within her lay the crushing weight of what she had done. This isn't easy, but it's necessary. The truth has to be spoken. Christine spoke softly once more to her sisters, tears welling. I don't know if we can ever trust him in the same way again. Janelle nodded, voice thick. It's not trust. It's our lives he's manipulated. And now we finally realize what it is. Kody sat in silence, his own mind whirling. I've lost command. My family, my reputation, my reality TV image, all going down the drain. It's not just a courtroom case. It's the destruction of everything I've created. And there's no coming back. The session was over, but the damage was already done. Kody's defense had crumbled, his credibility damaged, and the courtroom and the world had seen the downfall of a tightly guarded empire. As the courtroom session closed, the repercussions were swift. Twitter and Facebook burned with reaction, conjecture and speculation regarding the future of the Sister Wives clan. Viewers argued, would divorces ensue? Would Kody ever face a day in court? Could the family recover from such a televised betrayal? Rebecca's courage was the turning point, showing even reality TV's most influential players are not above being touched. The image of unity and stability, projected by the Brown family, was torn apart, with viewers left wondering how much of what they had witnessed on television had been genuine. The show didn't end at scandal. It bred discussions regarding trust, power, and manipulation of relationships. It made fans remember that behind the camera lens, reality television personalities are human beings, with all their imperfections, secrets, and blunders that accompany them. Kody's kingdom was not spared either. His kingdom was staring into an uncertain future. The courtroom revelations exposed weaknesses that could no longer be disregarded. While this was going on, Rebecca became a voice of truth and bravery, and her decision to speak out has forever altered the public image of the Brown family. Courthouse doors swung open, and the bright sunlight seemed almost brutal in contrast to the thick, choking atmosphere within. Cameras popped, Reporters yelled questions, and fans and gawkers pushed for a glimpse of the Brown family as they filed out. But within, the emotional after effects of the courtroom lingered. Kody Brown walked slowly, trying his usual stoic stance, but the tension lines around his eyes gave him away. Inwardly he was thinking, they saw everything, the world saw everything. There's no repairing this. My control, my reputation, all ruined. Rebecca trailed behind, steadfast and unmoving, though she struggled with the burden of what had just unfolded. It's done. The truth is out. No longer lies. No longer secrets. She looked over at the other wives, Christine, Janelle and Meri, who each bore their own combination of relief, anger and grief. Christine softly whispered to her sisters, tears running, I don't even know how to feel. I'm angry, I'm sad, and I feel free somehow. Meri's voice was firm but low. I finally get what was going on, and now we can't turn a blind eye to it anymore. This is our reality. Kody's brain whirled. They're seeing me for me. Fans, reporters, all of them. This is it. I can't lie about this. I can't explain this. He kept his eyes down, knowing any look would reveal the guilt he carried. Outside, reporters swarmed around the family. Microphones were thrust before them. Cameras took every action in record, and the din of questions was continuous. Mr. Brown, your reply to accusations? A reporter yelled. Kody cleared his throat, trying to sound calm. I have always worked for the best interest of my family. There had been misunderstandings, but I never intended to do bad. Rebecca's gaze locked with his for an instant. A wordless acceptance of the gravity of her testimony. She addressed the media with quiet assurance. The truth must be told. Families, viewers, and the public have a right to know the truth. That's why I stood here today. A camera flash captured Christine's response as she added, her voice shaking, we trusted him. And though that trust has been broken, at least we now know the truth. It hurts, but it is needed. Social media went wild almost instantly. In minutes, hashtags such as #KodyExposed, #SisterWivesTruth, and #RebeccaSpeaks were trending. Cuts of Rebecca's testimony and Kody's stammering defense were shared thousands of times. Followers opined with comments. Finally, someone is telling the truth on Kody. The family deserves the truth. This is long overdue. Kody's empire is officially collapsing in the public eye. Kody's inner panic grew. They're judging me, not only the court, but the whole world. Every social media post, every comment, they're destroying my reputation. Everything I worked for is destroyed. Back within the courthouse, the judge had made a statement about the gravity of the charges and the severity of the evidence brought forward. The court of law was hardly done yet, but the court of public opinion had already passed judgment. Rebecca leaned over and spoke in a low tone to Christine. We did the right thing. It wasn't easy, but someone had to say something. The truth is more important than appearances. Christine nodded, her eyes bloodshot. I feel like part of me is shattered. But also, I feel free. I can finally see everything clearly. Meri shook her head a little and said, it will take time to heal, but this is a beginning. And we can rebuild our lives with the knowledge of what really happened. Kody sat in silence, taking it all in. The world knows me now, not the patriarch, not the serene father figure, but the man laid bare. My family is broken, my reputation ruined, and there is no taking it back. As the day went on, the media started breaking down every move. Panel shows discussed Kody's behavior. Analysts picked apart the family dynamics, and fans kept sharing clips and opinions on social media. The Brown family, previously presented as a unified front on national television, was now well known to have extreme inner conflict, manipulation, and distrust. Even in the family, talking was hard. Behind closed doors, Kody attempted to talk to the wives. I never intended to hurt anyone. I believed I was doing the right thing, he whispered. Rebecca regarded him calmly but firmly. Intentions don't wipe away the reality. Actions do. And actions have consequences, not only in this courtroom, but in our lives. Christine spoke quietly. We need to think about the future. The past is out there, but we can decide how we proceed. Kody slowly nodded, finally understanding the extent of the fallout. This is not TV cameras and image. This is actual life, and there are consequences for the truth. Outside, fans kept arriving around the courthouse, talking about the bombshells. Finally, somebody held Kody responsible. One fan yelled. Another chimed in. Rebecca is a warrior. She spoke for all of them. The emotional impact of the day didn't stop at the courthouse. On social media, the Brown family saga ignited discussions about family dynamics, manipulation, trust, and accountability. Millions watched and debated the bombshells, felt sorry for the wives, and wondered about Kody's actions. By the time the sun went down, the Brown family departed the grounds of the courthouse. No longer simply stars of reality television, they were people dealt with by the very tangible repercussions of personal behavior becoming public fact. Kody, bringing up the rear, pondered quietly. I thought I was in charge of everything, but the truth is more powerful than control, and now I must live with what has been revealed. Rebecca accompanied the other wives, her tone steady but firm. It's out. The truth is out, and for the first time we can begin making choices based on reality, not deceit. Christine, her head held aloft in defiance of tears, breathed softly. Painful as it is, this is freedom, and perhaps, just perhaps, this is the beginning of healing. Meri nodded, the beginnings of a tiny hopeful smile unfolding. We can't rewrite the past, but we can confront the future, together honestly. The day was over, but the fallout of the courtroom drama would resound far beyond the courtroom walls. Kody Brown's painstakingly built persona was torn to shreds, the family's personal dynamics revealed, and tens of millions of viewers left witnessing a tale that had moved far beyond television reality, to become an actual drama about betrayal, trust, and the strength of honesty. Kody Brown, who was once regarded as the immovable head of the Sister Wives clan, was publicly torn apart in court by his sixth wife, Rebecca. By damning proof, emotional bombshells, and irrefutable braveness, she revealed Kody's financial domination, manipulation, and infidelity, shocking viewers and shattering the family in the process. The drama in the courtroom was greater than scandal. It was an unvarnished, emotional fight for truth, trust, and accountability. Viewers were left reeling. Arguments flared on social media, and the Brown family legacy was forever changed. One thing's for sure, the days of Kody's above-the-fray persona are over, and the ripple effects of this courtroom battle will be seen for years to come. Could Kody Brown weather this scandal? Will the Sister Wives family ever get back to normal? Comment your thoughts below, because this courtroom saga is hardly over.